very glad to note that the workshop has received an overwhelming response. 20% melebihi daripada sasaran. And I was telling Dr. Yvonne and Hajah Nancy tadi, because of the overwhelming response, it is good if we could continue to conduct it throughout the year and throughout Sarawak. And we can again, I guess, work together with LPPKN or even with our HRDQ, Jabatan Ketua Menteri, because this is something very important for every mothers, every parents, every teachers in the country. Dalam kehidupan berumah tangga, salah satu saat yang paling bahagia ialah apabila kita dikurniakan cahaya mata. Saya masih ingat 27 tahun yang lalu apabila sekali pertama saya menerima cahaya mata pertama, especially after 4 years of marriage, and when you finally become a mother, there's no word to describe that feeling. Bagi kita memang hakikatnya apabila kita dikurniakan cahaya mata, it's a very lovely feeling. Cahaya mata bunga-bunga syurga, cahaya mata permata hati yang sebenarnya tidak ternilai harganya. Dan cahaya mata adalah pengukuh ikatan kasih sayang antara pasangan suami isteri, penyeri rumah tangga kita, dan penyambung zuriat serta baka. When we become parents, ladies and gentlemen, as what Tuan Haji has said, we share actually a common desire to bring up our children as best as we could, to provide them as best as we can afford, with the hope that they will be able to attain good education, unleash their potential, land a good job, have a happy and a successful life, become good son or good daughter, and become a valuable as well as relevant human resource as well as good citizens of Malaysia. How do we raise our children? They are born into a different kind of environment, different kind of situations. We were born in a different era. Our parents were born in a different era. Silap asuhan pada peringkat awal terutama sekali, bunga-bunga syurga, permata hati kita, silap hari bulan bukan menjadi permata hati tetapi akan menjadi duri dalam hati kita pula. Boleh menjadi beban kepada ibu bapa dan juga kepada masyarakat serta negara. Setiap individu itu ada perbezaannya. Setiap individu itu, setiap orang anak kita mempunyai potensi yang berbeza. Usahakan juga ialah supaya anak yang kita didik itu akhirnya juga nanti mempunyai pribadi dan akhlak yang baik. Good children, good citizen. Guru-guru memain peranan yang sangat penting. Preschool curriculum should be activity based. There are other classes, preschool classes. It is so interesting. Satu disebabkan guru itu sendiri. Tidak perlu gadget-gadget yang berbagai-bagai, because you can become a resource person yourself. Semangat seperti yang ditunjukkan oleh Dr. Yvonne dengan mata, dengan tangan, dengan kakinya. So everyone will be focused on her. So that's the kind of teacher we want in preschool actually. Dan dengan lafaz Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, saya dengan sukacitanya merasmikan bengkel serta TOT session ancuran Pi Bakat dengan kerjasama Paradox Challenge, dan tahniah kepada semua yang hadir pada hari ini. Sekian, wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Get the babies, but you won't have your man while he is busy. Pretty woman.
woman walking down the street.
Good morning. How's everybody today? I'm not convinced. I'm going to walk out until we get a good morning to you. And how's everybody today? Much better. Now, I expect nothing less than high energy from all of you, because you know what? I'm really excited to be here. This program, Cahaya Mata, Bunga Bunga Syurga, is my passion. And I'm very, very thrilled to know that the federal government has seen it fit that you are to be the members in Malaysia to pilot this program. But what a lot of things aren't covered is not just what you, each of you who are parents or caregivers to children, not what you can do for them, but what you can do for you, because if you're a role model that lives a life of your authentic best, to really go for what you want, you are going to set an example for all the generations to come. Yes, you are the lucky ones. Yes. And most of all, I am the lucky one, because I have really, really wanted to do this about 3 years ago, but was not courageous enough to do it, because I seriously thought to myself, nobody wants to hear this. I feel strongly about it, but I don't think anybody really wants to hear it. But overwhelmingly over the last 3 years, as I've developed programs in Australia and now coming into Malaysia, there is a great need, and governments are seeing it as well. So the world is watching us, because if Malaysia takes this on, I can promise you that a few other countries are interested to see what's happening. So we are under the viewfinder. We are on a magnifying glass. You are a pioneer, and I congratulate you, and I thank you for this opportunity to do this. I'm learning what this community needs, so that when this program rolls out, and I believe LPPKN will want to roll it out, because you guys are going to go out and say, this is exactly what we want, because we designed it with Yvonne. This program changes people. Your children, my children, we were all once children, were born geniuses. Do you agree? Who agrees that all our children are born geniuses? Okay. Who disagrees? Even the anak cacat, I'm including them. Do you think they're geniuses? And I'm going to challenge this. I say they are. They might have a brain injury that does not allow them to express themselves, so we don't see the genius. But the genius lies within. But now and again, I'm going to ask Hajar to come up and give her cultural perspective, because she's a woman leader quite well renowned in your community. In fact, very renowned and respected in your community. And I'm going to ask her perspective. But she's not the only one that I'll ask perspective of. I'm inviting you to tell me as much as possible. I'm going to feed them, clothe them, but it cost Australians about $250,000 Australian dollars to get a kid from 0 to 16. We're talking basic healthy food, we're talking basic bus fares, $250,000. If you would look at your statistics, and that's why I think your government is beginning to see that too, that we're struggling against a higher change in inflation rates and dual income families that are perhaps wanting the old family values that were there, but not being able to find the time to do that, or not finding the priority, because money fixes a lot of things. Let's come out and say it. Let's parent our kids the best way, and that cross-contextualize it to all areas in our life. And that's why I'm here. Your kids will take it on. Kids role model. Kids copy. Why are you here? What attracted you to come to this course in the first place? And how would you like to be at the end of these 8 days? The fact that we are living in a time of change that is much faster than any change in history that has happened. In nature, everything happens in a cycle like an S. First, there's a negative return on investment. Then there is a growth. And then if you don't check it, it could plateau off and die. And I'll call this the structure of change. What about your kids? When they're born, is it not that they depend on you totally? A baby is a negative return on investment. It saps up all your milk. I mean, those of you that breastfeed, they drain you. They keep you awake. They expect everything to be looked after. chaos, isn't it? First baby for me was really the hardest. Couldn't sleep, did all the wrong things. And then life becomes good because they start smiling at you. They start getting to know you. They recognize you and they start saying, Mama, fantastic. And they start being able to move on their own. They grow up, they become toddlers. They're getting a little bit more independent, and then chaos because they start pulling things down from the furniture. They start falling over and cutting themselves. And so you got to reassess, well, I've got to treat the toddler very differently from a baby. So once you can fix that, once you understand the child and some of the limitations, then life becomes good again. And you have a beautiful relationship with this child until they're about 6 years old and 7 and they go to school. And then there's the chaos of, my God, school uniforms, books, homework. And then teenagers. Some people lose it. They treat their kids like they were babies. And you wonder why those CEOs are not talking to their kids. Because they carried on with focusing on themselves and maybe did not focus on the relationship of the changing nature of nature. In parenting, in relationships, in your kids and your growth, that you take into account as you parent through being a good nutritionist, a good disciplinarian, a good rules and routine organizer, a great manager, a great love provider, a great role model. The generations today are thinking very differently from what our grandparents thought about. So what are you doing with your children? Are you teaching your children based on you role modeling your mother, who was a mother in the 50s? Are we teaching our children with the technology that we were brought up in and expecting them to thrive in the current world with that same information? We've got a computer, the best computer in nature. Show the beauty of the world to your child and share that joy of learning with your child. That's all you need to do. Ask not what you can give your child, but what you can give yourself so that your child will experience you from that perspective of you wanting to unleash your own potential, because you're all geniuses. What do you value? How do you pick a school for your children? How do you pick an activity that you want your children to have? How do you pick an activity that you want to indulge in? What is your intention as a parent? I want to be the best parent so that I can walk my talk and know that my children will copy me. So no matter what it is to be authentic. That is your intention. My intention is to have a child that will transform the world in the future because I will allow their creativity to stay. So what's your intention as a parent? That's the question. So when you're going through and finding out how you'd like to be in your desired state, I invite you to be able to see, hear, feel, touch, whatever it is that you know that when you get there, you got it. If you knew where you were at, it's much easier to measure where you're going to go. Because your life's experiences will be the guidance of how you will want to be and will be. People have all the resources. You have all the resources you need. Some of them might be hidden, including your own genius states. They are there. Find them. If you can't find them, who can? So all of us have these magical qualities. You are in control of your learning. We don't grow without crisis. We all grow from the greatest betrayal. So when I miraculously fell pregnant, I went into depression. I told my doctor, I said, my life is ended. I don't know what to do. Because my expectation of motherhood was that high. I can't possibly look after another child because I can't look after even myself. So the call to adventure happened, and I flatly did what most heroes do, the refusal. I don't want this gift. I don't want this child. I know I have to have it, but I don't want to be a mother. I've got to have this child, but I don't want to be a mother. How is that possible? Tell me how to do that. So the refusal. When you accept the call, so I was pregnant, 2 weeks, found out I was pregnant, crying to my doctor, crying to Ken, saying like, and he says, don't be ridiculous, you're great with kids, so what's your problem? Nobody could see my problem except me. And so after 2 weeks I decided, you know what, the worst thing that can happen is I could try to be a mom. I could do a really, terrible job, but I'll try to be a mom. So I accepted. I accepted motherhood, and my whole pregnancy was really easy. When you accept the call to adventure, you're given a gift. Now this gift comes in many different forms. My son was not my gift. He was a guide. But a lot of times you don't know what your gift is until you experience a supreme ordeal. So your gift is not revealed until the crisis comes, until the supreme ordeal sets upon you. So the gift that was given to me was when I actually celebrated the fact that I don't have to be a good mom. That was a gift. When I could let go, after I heard this voice say, Mom, you don't have to do anything. Just hold the space for me as a tour guide on the planet Earth. I have my destiny no matter what you do. I don't have to be a perfect parent. I'll just parent. I'll just parent and learn from this experience that I may be a better person from it. And that gift was given that I will have a learning partnership with my child. And when the gift is given, you overcome the supreme ordeal and experience a certain sense of success. The gift is usually inside you. Because when you refuse that ordeal or don't face up to it, ordeals keep coming bigger and bigger until they slap you in the face to say, wake up, this supreme ordeal is not supreme enough for you, I'll give you another one. Until you use the gift, because you are the hero, you have the gift, use it. There is an amazing thing called the call to return. The immediate call to return was I had no choice. I better act on being a mother to this child, breastfeed it, do whatever it is, and keep believing and reinforcing the belief I don't have to do it right. Just hold him all the time. Not a perfect motherhood by all the mothercraft books, by all the control crying experts, with all the toddler taming. I just held him. And we both slept together. Sometimes my husband held him, and we have a great bond now. Wasn't a perfect parent, but by the books, but it was perfect for us. The cycle will not end until a reward is given. The reward is the doing of the calling which will bring you to the next call to adventure. My greatest reward is that I was learning and being able to now step forth to the next call in adventure to say, will I accept to come out and do this? And what you see at the end of it, is it going to be the exact reward that you expect, that you will bring back out into your world of caregiving to brain injured children or parenting your kids, or holding that space for parents who need to be the best parents they can be because you're there for them? What's the reward? And then, is this the end of the 8 days before you go